Greetings, Zimbabwe, and welcome to Zimbabwe Daily. My name is Yvonne Muchaka, and we're coming to you live from the Holiday Inn, where the EU has deployed 46 long-term observers into the different areas of the 10 provinces of Zimbabwe.
So, a very good morning to all of the long-term observers. I'm very pleased to have you here and to be deploying out to all of the regions of Zimbabwe this morning. It's a very important mission that you are undertaking for the European Union, but especially for the people of Zimbabwe. And it's at their invitation that we are here to observe the 23 August harmonized elections. You, of course, will be our eyes and ears in the field. You will be meeting with all levels of interlocutors, with all political sides, to understand better how this election process is taking place, but most essentially to understand whether those principles and those standards which Zimbabwe itself has willingly agreed to are being respected and being reflected in the election process which is moving forward. We very much appreciate the hard work and the many hours that you will be putting in. I know it's very hard to be working 7 days a week with no break and no stop, but I think that by the end, we hope to have a very independent, a very impartial, and very reflective report, which will be able to show back to the Zimbabwe people like a mirror the things that they themselves see and the things that they themselves would like reflected. So I wish all of you a very successful mission. I wish you all a very good experience. I hope that you have a beneficial time. I hope you enjoy your time. And we're here to work together as one team, as one European Union, but also as one global community to work for those standards, those democratic principles that we would all like to see in our lives. Thank you all. I wish you a very successful deployment.
Thank you.
A very good morning to the members of the press, and I'm very happy to see such a great interest from the Zimbabwe media community to the upcoming election observation mission that has deployed for the 23 August harmonized elections in Zimbabwe. As you see today, we are deploying the long-term observers to all parts of the country, to all 10 provinces, and so they will be throughout the country in all areas, not just in Harare, but all the way down to the village level throughout the country to better understand how the elections are developing, the various aspects all the way through from the election administration, the way that the campaign is going, but also the critical role that the media plays in elections. So all of these elements will be looked at, analyzed, and it will be reflected in the reporting that the EU election observation will make. This will come after election day, since we maintain a strict principle of non-interference. We're here to observe elections, not monitor elections. This means that we do this in an independent and impartial way. We look at all aspects of the process. We are granted by the administrative agreement that was signed by the European Union and the government of Zimbabwe access to all of those aspects of the election, but we will not be commenting on the process as it's ongoing. We will be making that statement approximately 2 days after the elections in our preliminary statement, and you will find information about that on our website, but also on our social media handles in Facebook, in Twitter, and in Instagram.
But as you deploy the long-term observers, how do you see the pre-election environment so far?
So the long-term observers are just starting their work. their information is essential to our understanding. We have an analysis which is not just based on Harare, but based on all parts of the country. And so I would say it's premature to offer an assessment without understanding all of those different aspects of the process. And we will be making that preliminary statement, as I mentioned. So my name is Beata Martin Rozumiłowicz. I'm from Poland, and I am the Deputy Chief Observer for this mission.
Do we have any other questions? We have time for 2 more questions.
How are you deploying them in the provinces?
So we have a deployment plan which is based on the experience of the individual observers, their gender, their background, their language skills, and many other criteria. We pair them up in teams of 2 so that all of their observations, which should be firsthand with their own eyes and with their own ears, are able to be checked between them. So it is never the impression of one person about what is going on. They have to come to a consensus. And then all of that information from those 46 individuals from all around the country is reported to us and to our analysts here in Harare. We're 11 core team analysts covering all aspects of the process, from the legal framework to the election administration, to the campaign and campaign finance, as well as media and social media. And we take all of that information, analyze it, and are then able to reach conclusions on the entirety of the process after election day.
Are they going to reach the hard areas where it's difficult to get to?
Yes.
Especially the rural areas like in Mwani or Lotito.
Yes, so their mandate is for all areas. They have certain parts of the country, but in those parts of the country, which are all 10 provinces, they will be visiting all the way down to the villages in the difficult to reach places. It will not just be an assessment based on towns and bigger areas, but really getting down to the heart of the matter in all areas of the country.
Okay. Any other questions? We have 1 more. All right.
Please.
In as much as you were invited by the government of Zimbabwe, what is your interest in Zimbabwe as European Union? Why are you accepting an observer mission?
So our interest is not just in Zimbabwe, but in all countries of the world where the European Union has a relationship. And so we observe in many countries throughout the world. Up to this date, we've observed in more than 100 different places. And so it's a sign of the European Union's ongoing relationship with Zimbabwe as a partner in that spirit of partnership to try to work together to achieve those common goals of better democratic governance and better democratic elections.
Why is it important for the EU bloc to be observing these elections?
I think it's important for the European Union as a community of democracies to also support those countries who would like to see democracy move further in their own country. And so as a spirit of partnership, we're here to promote and to defend those democratic principles and to see the extent to which those international documents which the Zimbabwean authorities have willingly aspired to are seen in this election process.
Talking of democratic principles, can you mention some of them?
Yes, so as I was just saying, principles of equality. Is every citizen able to vote in the process on equal terms? Universality, does that mean that every person can vote in the same way without hindrance and without the need for additional measures? Elements of transparency, elements of accountability. These are all principles which are enshrined in UN documents like the International Covenant for Civil and Political Rights, but also in documents like the African Charter, which have been mentioned by the MFA and other official bodies.
Well, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Your name?
My name is Beata Martin Rozumiłowicz, and I'm the Deputy Chief Observer for the EU election observation mission.
Okay, just one clarification. Today, 46 are going out. How many more are going to be added come the election day?
So by election day, we will be 150 people approximately all told, and that will include our core team analysts, our long-term observers, also short-term observers who will be coming for election day from Europe, and as well locally recruited short-term observers, and a parliamentary delegation coming from the European Parliament, and that will all supplement together to be about 150 people by election day. Thank you very much.
Thank you.